I does what I like, and I like. 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 Does what I like, and I like. Does what I like, and I like. I does what I like, and I like.
Hey, Chime. Man, I really do like Pogo's music. Alright, sorry, Pogo. I was supposed to start the stream after the last song. Okay. Turns out most of his stuff is actually for free on Bandcamp, I found out today. Hey, OBS, you wanna pick up on the game? Alright, there we go. That's right. Turnabout goodbyes. It's been, what, 15 years? About that, yes. 15 years is a long time to wait. You can't imagine how much I've suffered. You suffered? And now, the perfect opportunity presents itself. At last, I shall have my revenge. What? Merry Christmas. December 25th, 10:08 a.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. Hey, Nick. Do you know if there's any good waterfalls around here? Yeah, that's a terrible Christmas present. Waterfalls? Dare I ask why? Duh, Nick. Isn't it obvious? I need a waterfall to stand under, preferably a freezing one. Oh. Is that part of your spirit medium training? Of course! Except, I've been slacking off lately. I need to brave the elements and be forged anew under the rushing spring waters. Okay. I don't know about any falls per se, but Gourd Lake is pretty close. Oh, darn. Sorry, but them's the breaks. Couldn't you just take a cold shower or something? Good idea! So much for the rushing spring waters. Next in the news, a large unidentified animal was sighted at Gourd Lake. The town is buzzing with excitement. Locals are calling it Gordy, and a tip of that to Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. Though its namesake, Nessie, proved to be a hoax. Locals are confident their Gordy is the real deal. Boring. Can't they show real news for a change? Fake news. Fake news. Nick? Water pressure's kind of low in that shower. You want more pressure, huh? Why don't you go down to the fire department and have them spray you with a hose? Good idea, Nick! Apparently, ESP is no aid in detecting sarcasm. We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. Strange occurrences continue at Gourd Lake, but this time, it's murder. Gourd Lake again? The body of a man was found in the lake early this morning. A suspect was apprehended. Sources inside the police department revealed that the suspect's name is Miles Edgeworth, age 24. Edgeworth was an up-and-coming prosecutor attorney, known for his skill and connections. He was guaranteed a long and rewarding career. Has he thrown it all away? Huh? Edgeworth? What's going on? Edgeworth would never do something like... Nick? Yipes! Maya! The fireman yelled at me when I called him. We've got bigger things to worry about than that. They arrested Edgeworth. What? You mean the prosecutor? Yeah, he's a suspect. In a murder. What? When? Where? Why? How? I don't know. Let's go find out, Nick. Alright. Let's go find out what the heck is going on. December 25th, Detention Center. Visitor's room. Oh, so it literally is like Christmas, isn't it? In the game. You know, Nick, we've all been in here one time or another, haven't we? I guess it comes with the territory. I'm not sure it's something we should mention to too many people. Ah. Ah! Hey, Edgeworth, come back! What are you doing here? Nick, I don't think he's in a very good mood. Well, he is in detention. Were you in a good mood when you were here? So you've come to laugh at the fallen attorney. Then laugh! Laugh! Well, why aren't you laughing? Nick, should we be laughing? Nah, it's a trick. Laugh and he'll get mad. Or burst into tears. Edgeworth, we don't have so much free time we can spend it coming down here to laugh at you. Yes, you do. Actually, he's right. I hoped you wouldn't come. I didn't want you to see me. Not like this. Hey, I didn't want to see you either. Believe me. Oh wait, I just remembered. How's that color? Is it still too much? Any more and I'll probably make it like some sort of brownish color. It's a darker orange this time. Better? Okay. Yeah, it is a bit better. I don't know, maybe I should just make it just straight up brown. I don't know, I kind of like the darker orange. Maybe I should find a complementary color to like orange and red and to choose that instead to make the Tyrannosaurus Rex look better. Anyway. I'm gonna be playing that game probably a couple days here by the end of the week, so. Can do a bright orange fade. Could. Anyway. Edgeworth, tell me what happened. Why should I? What are you going to do about it? Duh! We're gonna help you. That's what. Help me? You? Don't be ridiculous. Sorry? You're a novice. You've only been in 3 trials. Hey! Sure, you got lucky and won all 3, but your luck's bound to run out someday. You need real skill, right? Experience. Nick, he's insulting you. Nick? Why am I always the one who has to get angry? The murder took place at Gord Lake, correct? Yes, late last night. The lake is a long way from your offices in the court. Why were you down there? I see no need to tell you. Mr. Edgeworth, you didn't really... Gordy. Huh? I went to see Gordy. Gordy? What's that? I'll tell you later. Why won't Edgeworth talk to us? December 25th, Gord Lake Park, entrance. This is where it happened? Yeah, Gord Lake is in the middle of the park. I can see some police walking around in there. Questioning people, probably. Hey, isn't that Detective Gumshoe over there?
Well, pal? There's enough of us here. Anyone found anything?
Sorry, sir. Nothing.
Idiot! The trial's tomorrow! We need clues, on the double.
But, sir, there weren't any clues. That's why we arrested that attorney, Mr. Edgeworth. It's clear, sir. He's the one who...
Shut up! Just you try saying that again. I'll make you sorry if you do. I mean, just get out of my face, pal.
Yes, sir. Detective Gumshoe's kinda scary today.
Recruits? Ah! Hey, you're that airy guy! Airy Butts!
Right, Phoenix Wright. Will he ever learn my name?
And just what are you doing here, pal? Investigating?
Huh? Well, yes, I suppose.
Well, I'm here to help. Ask me anything you want. Bring it.
He seems different than usual. I wonder what's up. Mr. Edgeworth hasn't actually asked us to defend him yet.
Huh? Oh, you don't say.
It's not clear yet. We haven't heard all the details yet. I'm guessing probably... So clearly what happened in the boat clearly happened, but it probably didn't happen the way we saw it exactly, because there was a lot of mist and fog going around. So there's probably more to the scene than we just saw. Plus we have the whole backstory and everything. This case relates back to the D6 incident, which is what they were talking about in Trials and Tribulations and stuff. And it's like a big point. It's like the beginning of a lot of things for the rest of the story. So, and over the arc of the 3 games. So yeah. Detective Gumshoe, do you know what happened here?
Huh? You don't know, pal?
No.
Wow. Okay. Mr. Hedden. Oh, wow. Okay. Mr. Hedden, the fluffy pink clouds lawyer.
Head in the... Huh?
Never mind. I'll tell you. It happened last night, about 15 minutes after midnight.
Here you go, Chime.
There was a boat out on Gourd Lake. In that boat were 2 men. One of those men shot the other with a pistol.
And the shooter was Miles Edgeworth?
A cop who arrived on the scene arrested him.
How did he get there so fast?
Well, there was a witness. When the report came in, we raced to the lake.
A witness? You don't think Mr. Edgeworth is a murderer?
Absolutely not. It's impossible. I don't care if there is a witness either. I don't believe a lick of it.
Right. Who cares what that witness says? I care. You really believe in him, don't you, Detective?
Of course I do. But the police are pretty sure he's the killer. Nobody's even really taken this investigation that seriously.
Oh no!
After all the help Mr. Edgeworth has been to us, hard to imagine that no one's standing up to take his side.
Well, at least you are, Detective. At least you are. Do you know who will be Mr. Edgeworth's defense attorney in tomorrow's trial?
He hasn't got one yet.
What? Trial is tomorrow, isn't it?
Well, I don't know the whole story, but apparently no one he's been talking to will take his case.
Why not?
Mr. Edgeworth won't tell me. When you guys showed up, I figured he'd ask you to defend him.
Unfortunately not.
Well, pal, then you got a job to do. Help out Mr. Edgeworth. Prove that badge he wears on just some fancy piece of metal. Prove it to me, pal. Show me you're an attorney.
Who was this witness?
Sorry, pal. That's confidential. Anyway, the witness saw everything, apparently. I'm sure they'll turn up at the trial tomorrow.
Was there only that one witness?
Yup. It was pretty cold out on the lake last night. And it was Christmas Eve after all. Still, we're being thorough. You never know when you're going to turn up another witness. That's why we're here today, checking things out. So far, we're coming up empty.
Oh, it's Christmas today. I'd forgotten. What are you getting me for Christmas, Nick? Talk to Santa. Alright. Let's take a look around ourselves, I guess. Can we examine? Maybe we have to go back to talk to Edgeworth. Sign says Gourd Lake Nature Park. This place is full of families picnicking on the weekend. But no waterfall. Not many picnickers come here for spiritual training, Maya. I feel winter's chill from the bare leaf trees today. What is it about that winter turned people into poets? I don't know, but my toes are starting to feel numb. Yes, my poetry has that effect on some people. Kind of reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The poetry so bad, people nod off their legs to get away from it. So, Your attorney's badge. Edgeworth, let me defend you. Ha! Ha ha! Good one, Wright. But I'm not that hard up. Not yet. What do you mean by that? Me? Trust a wet behind the lawyer with only 3 trials under his belt? Never. What? My case is near hopeless, Wright. Every defense attorney I've talked to has turned me down. What? Simply put, they were afraid they'd lose. It occurred to me that it might be my fault that they lack confidence. After all, I did get every single one of their clients declared guilty. I don't believe it. Regardless, I don't want you involved with this. You in particular, I cannot ask to do this. Okay, where do we go from here? Does he have anything else we can talk to him? Oh, defense request. Is it true? No one will take Mr. Edgeworth's case?
Yeah, he's a bit of a celebrity. If you defended him and lost, your reputation would be sure to suffer. What's more, the case against him is, well, it's pretty solid.
I suppose it would be if they have a witness.
Hey, pal! Don't tell me you're gonna turn your back on him too! Remember the Steel Samurai! Mr. Edgeworth hopes you get your client declared innocent.
I know. I went to Edgeworth. I tried. He really doesn't want us to represent him. Especially not us, he said.
What? Well, that doesn't make any sense, pal. You should have heard him talking about you after the Steel Samurai case. He kept saying, right, 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 over and over.
Nick? I'm not sure that's a good sign. Neither am I.
Why wouldn't he want your help? I don't get it.
Detective Gumshoe, sir.
What? Find something?
No, sir. Not yet. But there was a call from the precinct. They want to hold an investigation briefing. Oh, come on. Gumshoe's the tsundere. But, yeah, no. I think it's more he doesn't want Wright defending him. A, because it would be hard for him to accept the fact that Wright is helping him. B, because he doesn't want Wright to lose. Like, he knows that he's probably going to be declared guilty, so he doesn't want Wright's reputation to suffer, is my guess.
A briefing? Right, I'm off. Oh, sorry, pal. I guess you heard. I gotta go. Any last things you want me to ask me about before you head back?
The autopsy report. Well, yes. Do you have any information on the victim?
Sorry, they haven't worked up the autopsy report yet. I'm still waiting for it myself. Actually, say, if you get the time, drop by the precinct. We can talk more there, pal.
Detective Gumshoe gave you directions to the police station. Oh hey, Detective Gumshoe.
What?
We'd like to take a look around in the park. Can we walk around?
Yeah, no problem, pal. You got my permission.
You know, Nick, I think there's something to be said for talking to people when they're busy. Yeah, they don't have time to think about not giving you information. Right. Now, let's get investigating. Samurai dogs? That says samurai dogs, doesn't it? On the right there. Wowzers! This is Gourd Lake? Yup. I'm not sure it warrants a wowzers, though. Probably not. But hey, look at that snack stand! Samurai dogs? I want a samurai dog, please! I bet they're great! With a name with a name like Samurai Dog, how could they not be? They're a little behind the times, though. Kids are all into the Pink Princess now. I mean, like, you know? Nope. References to the last case. What's this here? Huh. Someone left one of those poppers here. You know, you pull the string, and it goes pop. Yeah, I know the ones. You see them a lot around New Year's. Hey, Nick, it might be a clue. Let's take it. Come on, admit it. You just want to pop it, right? Was it that obvious? A popper. Might as well take it. I suppose it couldn't hurt. Huh? Where'd it go? I already put it in my pocket. Alright, we got the poppers. A hot dog stand. It's closed. The Christmas fringe looks a little half-baked. The banner reads, Samurai Dogs. Somebody needs to redecorate. Wow, Gourd Lake is really big. Yeah. I don't think I have actually either. Say, Nick, why is it called Gourd Lake? Oh, well, a long time ago they used to grow gourds here. Whoa, no way! I was sure it's because the lake looked like a gourd when viewed from above. You know, like an hourglass shape? Well, it is shaped like a gourd actually, but that's just a coincidence. Oh, okay. The trash can is empty. At least the place is well maintained. Alright, doesn't look like there's much here. It looks Christmassy to me. I like it here, Nick. Look, someone's camping. They've got guts, camping at the scene of a murder. Hey, Nick! If they were camping here last night, they might know something about the murder. That's true. Good call, Maya. Let's go talk to them. This camera has a mic and some sort of attachment. It must take pictures when triggered by a noise. Wow, cool! Let's try it out! Hi, I'm Nick! Maybe I'm not saying it loud enough. Hey, I'm Nick! Huh. Nick! Will you stop that? Maybe it's broken. Don't kick it. Maybe it isn't set to respond to voices. Well, what then? I know. The party popper? Yep, it responded. Yo! Hey, you! Get your hands off of that! Eek! What in the Sam Hill? Look what you done now. There goes a whole roll of film. Huh? What? Huh? Sorry, it's nice, but don't pay my bills. Y'all know how much a roll of that film costs? I'll pay you back. What were y'all thinking sending off a party popper in a place like this? Well? What? Don't try to play stupid with me just 'cause you think I'm some country bumpkin. Yeah, I know how y'all Yanks think. I say, those southern folks talk with that exaggerated drawl, they must be dumb. Let me tell you, just because I might be dumb, don't mean we all... Just because I might be dumb, don't mean we all are. Nick, help! And who are you now? Her chaperone? Yeah, no. Rather, we're sort of friends? Just figure out what y'all are gonna say and just say it, for bejesus's sake. God, I'd rather sit through one of Papa's drawls than listen to you stutter all day. Oh boy. I guess we should pay her for the film. This voice is actually a lot of fun to do. Apparently I'm fairly good at southern accents. Watch it. Yes, ma'am. On second thought, I'll pay later. I'm really sorry. What? Can't you see I'm changing the film on my camera here? Someone, I'm not naming any names, but someone used up a whole roll. Sorry. That didn't work. I wonder if I have anything to show her that would get her attention. What? Can't you see? Okay. We're gonna need something to get her attention, apparently. Alright, let's go take a look around. Because there's still a couple places we haven't been to yet. Boat rentals, huh. December 25th, boat rental shop. Nick, what is this place? A boat rental shop. Closed for Christmas, it seems. I guess a murder taking place on one of the boats won't be good for business either. Boats? I've never ridden on a boat. Really? Well, how about we go out on one when the trial is finished? Hey, good idea. You bet. Alright, let's take a look around, I guess. Small boat rental shop. Doesn't look like anyone is around. They're probably closed because it's Christmas. There's some boats floating at the dock. Was one of these boats used in the murder? Nick? Huh? I changed my mind. I don't really want to go for a boat ride. Alright. Doesn't look like there's anything around here. At least for the moment. Where else can we go? We can go visit Gumshoe. Looks like Detective Gumshoe isn't here. Something wrong, miss? Turning yourself in? Okay, what did you do? Shoplifting? Larceny? Public indecency? No! None of those things! We're looking for Detective Gumshoe. Is he around? Gumshoe? Oh yeah. He's in a meeting right now. I don't think he'll be out anytime soon. Okay, we'll come back. You do that. Oh, and go straight home and stay out of trouble. No more shoplifting. You got that? Do I look like a criminal or something? A poster of a female police officer. Wait, no, that's the latest Babes in Uniform calendar. My bad. Hey, is that the police department's mascot? That's the blue badger. That's the blue badger. It was my idea. I made it. It's my mascot. I see. How nice. I'll get him a signed mascot of the Criminals Affairs Department, if it's the last thing I do. Good luck. These are the detectives' desks. There are computers and files on each one. Funny, they're a lot tighter than I'd expect. I guess the detectives don't spend a lot of time at their desks. Alright. I guess go talk to Edgeworth. See if he has anything new to say. Did you do it? Edgeworth, this is really hard for me to ask. But you didn't do it, right? Right? Think what you will. I have only one request. Huh? Stay out of this case. Why? But Nick is trying to help you. I know. I know that. But I don't want your help, okay? Why not? Look, just go away and leave me alone. Nick, Mr. Edgeworth did it, didn't he? Maya, let's go investigate elsewhere. But Nick... What now? Maybe I should pull up that guide again. Maybe there's something around here that we can pick up and take a look at. There's food and some magazines on the sheet. It takes a pretty tough skin to camp in this cold. Hey, Nick! What, don't tell me you're hungry again? No, no! I was just wondering, why are camping pots and pans made of aluminum? Or is it aluminium? I've heard it pronounced both ways. I pronounce it aluminum, but I've heard it pronounced aluminium as well. I think mostly English people say that. So maybe they're right? I don't know. I mean, they are technically the inventors of English. Anyway. They didn't talk about that in any of the law books. So, there's no law saying they have to be made out of aluminum. Made out of aluminum, then. I'm not having this conversation. This SUV has seen better days. It's scented all over. I can't believe anyone would drive their car down here. Sign says, no camping. Funny place to pick to pitch your tent. Wait, what if the sign said no setting tents on fire? I don't think they have signs like that. Yeah, I say it the same way. Oh. So, okay, hold on. Let me pull up a guide a minute. Because I'm not sure what we're supposed to be doing next. Phoenix Wright. Day 1 investigation. Detention center. Oh, okay. We just have to present her attorney badge to her. We have to present our attorney badge, apparently. Actually getting some use out of it this go around. This is my badge. Huh? Aren't badges supposed to be all shiny and impressive? You a cop or something? I'm a lawyer. What? Y'all ain't gonna try and pull one of them lawsuits on me over that film now. Cause I'll have y'all know I'm a fighter, and I wrestled meaner looking things than you. No, that's not it at all. We're here investigating a murder that took place here, on the lake. A murder? Sounds cool. Why didn't y'all say that in the first place? Go ahead, ask me anything you like. Finally, some cooperation. You too. Y'all can come out of hiding now. I won't bite. Hard. Come to think of it, where did Maya get to? Sorry. I was feeling a little overwhelmed. The culture gap and all. Never you mind, honey. I can talk Yank if you... if it pleases you. Thanks. I think I'll be okay. Great then. I'm Lotta. Lotta Hart. But y'all can call me Lotta. Lotta Hart. I'm here photographing meteor showers for a research project. Mighty pleased to meet you. Oh yeah, when was that murder anyway? Hey Muse. It's going just fine. We just started the Turnabout Goodbyes case. So, D6 and all that. I ain't seen much television lately. It happened late in the night on Christmas Eve. That's so. Christmas Eve? A man on a boat was shot. Did you see anything? Well, let me see. A boat, you say? I reckon I might have seen one. Not sure, though. Y'all gotta remember, I've been watching this here lake for a good 3 days now. I seen enough boats to choke a mule. Kinda hard to remember which I see when. So, what is it you do, Lotta? Huh? Me? Y'all don't really want to know that, do ya? Actually, I'm a researcher at Country U, right in the heart of the Heartland. Wow, neat. Nick, she's a research student at a university, Country U. So I hear. So, when did you come up here? Let me see. I guess it was about 3 days ago. What are you photographing? Didn't I tell you all that already? Meteors. Yep, meteor showers. Falling stars? That's quite a camera you got there. Y'all better know it. It's German made. A genuine Soligen. Isn't that where they make knives? So what's that device you have stuck to the camera? Huh? Device? It started moving all by itself when I fired my party popper. Oh, that triggers the shutter whenever it detects certain sounds. It's programmed to pick up loud noises right now. A programmable camera. Neat. Last camera added to the court record. So it should have gone off then when it heard a shot, right? So, Lada? Yeah? So your camera, it triggers on loud explosion noises? Yep. Actually, the victim in the case we're researching, he was shot with a pistol. A pistol? Right. Now, wouldn't a gunshot make a similar noise to our party popper? I guess it would. Your camera didn't get a picture of the murder, did it? Hey! Y'all are pretty bright. Huh? I see what you're saying. Tell you what, I'll have a look-see at my film. It would have been a photo taken last night. I checked him once. Don't remember if there was anything on him, though. Well, if I got something, I could be a witness to a genuine murder. Yeehaw! I'll go check that film. Y'all come back now, you hear? Alright, I guess we'll come back later. She went inside her SUV. I guess we should come back later. I apologize for the female voices. I'm not a guy, so there's only so much I can do. Doing my best to distinguish people, though. Nothing here still. Maybe let's go see if Gumshoe is out of his meeting yet. Yeah, Loudheart does have a very nice name. Okay, so let's go see what Gumshoe's up to. Thank you. December 25th, Police Department, Criminal Affairs. I guess Detective Gumshoe is still in that meeting.
Hey! Thanks for coming down, pal.
Detective Gumshoe!
We just finished the meeting, for better or for worse.
I get the feeling we're in for some bad news. Do you know anything about the victim yet?
No. Still can't ID him.
Has Mr. Edgeworth said anything?
Not a word.
So, how did the meeting go?
I can't tell you, pal. You're a lawyer.
True.
You know, I don't know what to believe anymore. Sure, Mr. Edgeworth's human like you or me. Still, I get the feeling that if he'd done something wrong, he wouldn't go hiding it. That's just the kind of guy he is. Why can't anyone else see that?
So, they think that Mr. Edgeworth did it?
Well, trial's starting tomorrow, as scheduled.
I see. Hey, in the end, you did tell us about the meeting.
Don't go tell anyone else, pal.
Yes, sir.
And do me a favor. Stand by Mr. Edgeworth. He needs help, and you're the ones to help him. I'm sure he's got some reason why he won't talk to us.
Thanks, Detective Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe? How come you trust Mr. Edgeworth so much?
Well, I think that was obvious. We got a strong working relationship, us two. We trust each other. and that's how it works.
Working relationship?
See, Mr. Edgeworth always gets his defense declared guilty every time. Yeah, his methods might be a little extreme at times, but there's a reason. He trusts our investigation, see? He trusts us to get the right man. That's why I work extra hard, pal. We've got to earn that trust and he placed in us.
I see.
Mr. Edgeworth is a man you can trust, and you have my word on that.
I was wondering, did you ever get that autopsy report?
Oh, that? Yeah, I made a copy for you.
Alright, so let's check out that autopsy report a sec. Thank you. Nick? Huh? Can you show me that photo of the victim? Yeah, Gumshoe is very lovable. He's not the best detective, but he's a very good guy. Like, I always say that he's much too nice to be, like, an actual detective. That face! Someone you know? I don't know. I just have this feeling that I met him somewhere a long time ago. Alright. Let's go ask... No. He won't meet with us anymore. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know about that. He spills secrets pretty easily. I wouldn't trust him with all of my secrets, but I would trust him to do something if I asked him to do something. I would say that. Anybody over by the boat rental shop yet? Nope, okay. Let's go back and see if Lotta has looked through her camera rolls yet. Yep, okay. Hey, y'all! Lotta! Wait up a sec. We got bingo. Bingo? My automatic camera took 2 pictures last night. Hey! This is them. Take a look. Wait. See? See? He's shooting him with that pistol. It looks like that. Yes. But you can't really tell who that is shooting. Yeah, well, there was enough fog out there last night to strangle a bullfrog. But, you know, seeing these photos reminded me of something. What? I saw the murder happen. I'm a witness. What? Are you serious? Oh, gotcha. Of course. We haven't seen the second photo yet. How do you forget? Never mind. Y'all reckon I should tell the cops? I reckon so. I mean, they already have one witness that says Edgeworth did it. So if they have if there's 2 witnesses, we get 2 sides of the story, yeah? Plus, I don't think this really matters. I think she's gonna end up being a witness either way, so I reckon so. I reckon so. What's that? Now don't y'all go trying to mock my accent. I'm a sensitive lady. Hey, so I'm off to talk to the cops. Y'all can have this photo. Later. Yeah, she didn't show us what the second photo was. Wait, Lotta. What? Can't y'all see I'm kind of busy? Tell us what you saw too, please. Nice try, honey, but I wasn't born yesterday. I'm a witness, and that means I'm the side of justice. And that means the cops. I'd sooner eat the south side of a northbound skunk than tell you. Lotta? She said, basically what she's saying is that she'd rather eat a skunk butt than tell us. Don't let it get your skivvies in a bunch. Friends today, enemies tomorrow. Or was that the other way around? No matter. I'm gone. Hey, maybe they'll let me do some testifying. Hot darn. She left. Well, that's one more witness. What do we do now, Nick? Well, if she saw something, there's not much we can do about it. Question is, what exactly did she see? Guess we'll find out in the trial tomorrow. Lake photo added to the court record. Yeah, so we still have not seen the second photo. I have a feeling it's going to turn up later. After all, I'm pretty sure this is going to be another multi-day trial, where we have to go back and find more evidence later. Especially since we haven't seen anybody by the boathouse yet. Looks like the police have given up their questioning. Hey! I don't know who this is, so... Okay. Ah! Nick! I think Santa's mad at you!
Long time no see, Nick.
Nick? You know Santa? Wow. Nick and Saint Nick. Hey! I see the connection! Don't be ridiculous. Dude, it's me! Larry! What are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? I'm working my day job. I sell samurai dogs. Want one? Gotta get money for dates, you know. My girl Kyancy deserves the best. Kyancy? Not another model, I hope. Oh, Kyancy's a fine, fine woman, Nick. It was her idea I wear this costume. She was all, you go, girlfriend, you know? She bought this costume for me. That's great, Larry. Wow, a Santa costume. She must be really nice. Whoa, cute. Nick, who's she? She's not your... Not my... What? No, she's not. I'm his partner, Maya Fey. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Muse. See you later, I hope. I'm his partner, Maya Fey. I'm, the little sister. Sister? Wow, Nick, must be tough. Working 9 to 5, having to take care of a little sister? No, I'm not Nick's sister. I'm my older sister's little sister. Huh, sounds great. Don't worry, Maya. He's not listening. Hey, Larry. There was a murder here last night. You work here. Have you heard anything? Nick, you're wasting your time. Last night was Christmas Eve. He was with Kyancy, obviously. He wouldn't have been standing out here in the cold. Oof. I think what you just said caught him off guard, Maya. No, it's just Kyancy's not in town right now. She's in Hawaii on a photo shoot. A model. I knew it. Well, anyway, there was a murder here on the lake. The trial's tomorrow. Huh, neat. The defendant is Edgeworth. Miles Edgeworth. Nick? Why would Larry know Edgeworth? Whoa, Nick? You don't mean it that, Miles Edgeworth? Old Edgy? Yeah, he's a murder suspect. Whoa! Murder? Huh? You know Mr. Edgeworth, Larry? Yeah, of course. Edgy was in the same class as us in grade school. What? Tell me about the dogs. Huh? Oh, you mean the samurai dogs. Why are they samurai dogs? I mean, they kind of look gourd-shaped. Oh, well, originally they were gourd dogs. You know, like guard dogs. Ouch. The samurai thing was Kyancy's idea. Oh, she's my woman, you know. She was all, change the name and you go, girlfriend. She made me that banner. Man, the kids can't get enough of those samurai dogs. Something about that just seems wrong. Oh, and guess what? We're getting a ton of customers here at the lake. What with the big news? The big news? Yeah, Gordy. Gordy? So, Mr. Edgeworth was your classmate, Larry? Yeah, Nick, him, and I used to hang out all the time. Wow, I never knew. Don't get me wrong, he's always been kind of a stick in the mud. Studying all the time, trying to be like father. Like his father? Yeah, Edgy's pop was a famous defense lawyer back in the day. Wow. Wait, you said defense lawyer. Yeah. Wait a second. But Mr. Edgeworth is a prosecuting attorney. What? Edgy's got a proboscis on his knee? No, he's a prosecuting attorney. That's like the total opposite of a defense lawyer. Huh. Go figure. He always used to talk about defending the weak who were unable to defend themselves. Man, he used to go on and on about man's duty to society and all that. What a bore. I wonder what changed his mind, though. Do you know, Nick? Nick? What's Gordy? Huh? You mean you don't know? It's here, in this very lake. A giant mysterious monster. Gordy. Monster? Yeah. Check it out. This is an article from yesterday's paper. There's a photo. Wow. It's really real. Nick, a monster. A real monster. Yeah. It's probably just a log or something, right? Hey, there's a quote here from the person who took the photo. What's this? I set the camera to automatic, and when we got into the frame, I heard a loud bang, like an explosion, followed by the sounds of something slipping into the water. I wish I could have seen it. Why would there be a sound like an explosion? Larry, could I borrow this article from you? Sure, no problem. That'll be $1 million. $1 million? Grow up, Larry. Gordy article ordered added to the court record. Alright. So she left. Where do we go now? Let's go back to the detention center. See if... Nope, Edgeworth still won't talk to us anymore. Okay, so... Maybe we head down to the Criminals Affair Department? Yep, okay. Not a gumshoe in sight. If you're looking for Detective Gumshoe, he's in the questioning room. Apparently, an important witness turned up. He'll be in there a while. Lot of heart. It has to be. Uh-oh. Alright, I guess we'll come back later. What's left there to take a look around at? I guess we could... Okay, so we were at the public beach. Is there anything we can present to Nick? What's this? You know, my eyes have been getting pretty bad lately, Nick. Actually, the photo's blurry lately. It was taken last night. Last night? Okay, so he doesn't know anything about it. An expensive-looking camera faces the lake. Next to it is a large microphone and a blue plastic sheet. Looks like a computer's attached to the camera. Alright. I'm not sure. Okay, let me look. Sometimes this game is really fun, but the two main drawbacks it has is probably the movement system. Like, you have to move between places. Like, it doesn't let you just go from place to place as you wish. And the fact that sometimes it's not clear what you're supposed to do next. So... Oh, okay. Okay, we have to head back to the Wright and Cola offices, and then Maya will remember where she saw that guy. Okay. See, that's the thing, like, you just kind of cycle through all the places you can go and all the people you can talk to. Otherwise, or look at a guide. What is it? Oh, nothing. Just something's been bothering me. Could you show me that autopsy report once more? Hey! I remember now. This guy. This is a lawyer that was at the office Mia worked at. I met him once when I went there to hang out with Sis. That office? Wait, you mean Grossberg's office? Right, that guy. That was the last name I expected to come up. Maybe I should go talk to him, for old time's sake. Oh boy, gotta do the Grossberg office voice again. Okay.
Speak from the belly, my lad. Speak from the belly. Ahem!
Ah, that old familiar clearing of the throat.
Aha! Hear me as something, are you not?
I was her understudy. Yes, Phoenix Wright.
Ah! And you hear me as something too, are you not?
Her little sister, yes.
You've grown. You've come to look a lot like your sister, you know? It takes me back. Ah, the days of my youth. Like the scent of fresh lemon. You see?
Mr. Grossberg, sir?
Ah, yes, I beg your pardon. Of course you came here to discuss something. What is it then? Something the matter?
There was a murder last night.
A murder?
You haven't heard?
I, just got up, you see.
Well, Myers Edgeworth shot someone with a pistol.
Edgeworth? What? Who?
Well, the identity of the victim is still unknown.
This is terrible news indeed.
I guess he hasn't heard anything. Mr. Grossberg? Whatever happened to that painting?
Oh, yes. I do not think it shall ever be coming back home to this office. I can't exactly claim it as stolen. I suppose it's my just desserts. Old, bitter desserts.
Ugh, old bitter desserts. That makes me think of, like, cake that's been left out for too long and stuff. It's always a shame, like, when you, like, forget to put away, like, cake or something, and then you get up the next day and you're like, shoot, now it's all dried out. That always sucks. Anyway, we were asking about... Oh, you're right, the victim.
Strange. I feel as though I've seen this man somewhere before. Ah!
Did you remember?
He was a lawyer! Here, in my office! That's Hammond! Robert Hammond!
Mr. Hammond?
And you say this is the man Miles Edgeworth shot?
Who is this Hammond guy, anyway?
Mr. Hammond. He was the defense attorney in that case.
That case?
Yes, the DL6 incident.
DL6? Why does that sound so familiar?
Perhaps you remember?
I'm sure someone mentioned it during the trial for Mia's murder. It was also, written on the back of the two photos that we picked up during... What was it? Yes, during Mia's murder, we picked up those two photos. One of the lady that looked kind of like Maya and Mia, like she looked related to them. And then there was another photo. That one was Mr. White's photo. Both of them had the DL6 incident scrawled on the back and were on Grossberg's desk. I'm sure someone mentioned it during the trial for Mia's murder.
That was the incident where the police were so at a loss they used a spirit medium.
Wait, you don't mean... that medium my mother?
Yes, my dear. The spirit medium, Misty Fey. Your mother contacted the spirit of the victim. But The case was a loss. No conviction was made. The DL6 incident. Yes. Happened 15 years ago. A very strange case indeed.
They never caught the criminal, right?
Correct. Misty Fey used her powers to talk to the spirit of the late victim. Her testimony led to charges being laid against one man. Mr. Hammond won the case and the suspect was declared innocent.
And the police blame my mother, calling her a fraud. You were the one who helped her out then, right, Mr. Grosper?
Yes, quite.
So thank you.
No, please, don't mention it.
Because he doesn't feel comfortable receiving her thanks, because then he ended up, like, basically, like, getting, I think he's, like, yeah, he sold that information to Mr. White, the fact that he helped, her mother out, to Mr. White, who leaked it to the press, and that's how people found out. Never thought I'd hear that name again. But wait, what does that case have to do with anything with Mr. Edgeworth?
It has everything to do with Mr. Edgeworth, my dear. The victim in the DL6 incident was none other than his father, Gregory Edgeworth.
What? His father?
If you want to know more, you should ask him yourself. Show him this. I'm sure he'll talk to you.
Wait, this is a photograph of my mother. Misty Fey's photo added to the court record. December 25th, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. What's this? I was hoping you'd gotten my message the first time. Edgeworth, what about your defense? It's no concern of yours. Guess he hasn't found anyone yet. Can I ask you about the murder? Right. I'll ask you again. Just leave me alone. Please try to understand. I'm not doing this to prove I'm tough, or because I look down on you. I just don't want you anywhere near this case. Understand? Why did you go to Gourd Lake? I have no intention of telling you. Nor, apparently, would you tell Detective Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe was really worried about you. Edgeworth? It's only been a matter of hours since you last visited. Yet you've made incredible progress in your investigation. I'll admit it. I'm impressed, Wright. You're always single-minded in your work, though. Once you start on something, you always see it through, don't you? About the DL6 incident. Right. DL6. I didn't want you to find out about it. That is why I refused your offer to defend me. I'm sorry if it sounded like I thought you weren't up to the job. I just wanted to keep you away from DL6. So, do you still think it would have been better for me to stay away? I don't know. But, I see no point in hiding anything from you now. Very well. Ask whatever you like, and I will answer to the best of my abilities. The DL6 incident. The DL6 incident was when my father died. Right before my eyes. He was shot and killed, and I saw it all. Huh. My memories from that time are foggy. I suppose it's a self-defense mechanism. In any case, a suspect was arrested, a man. It's pretty clear he was the only one who have killed my father. The spirit medium they used to talk to my late father said the same thing. It was an attorney by the name of Robert Hammond that cleared the suspect's name. And Hammond is the victim in the Gourd Lake, and Hammond is the victim in the Gourd Lake murder? Correct. That spirit medium, that was my mom. What? You mean you're... It's strange. I thought that terrible incident was about to end, and now, this. About to end? The DL6 incident happened 15 years ago. 15 years ago. 15 years ago, on December 28th. December 28th? The statute of limitations on the case runs out in 3 days. What? Nick? What does that mean? When a case statute of limitations runs out, legally, the case never happened. 3 days from now, DL6 will be closed. Forever. So, 3 days from now, whatever the results of the DL6 incident, that's what, legally is going to be what is considered the truth in that case. They can't reopen it, they can't do anything with it, you know. They can't, like, reopen the investigation. Even if there's, like, some new evidence, it's already been pretty much, you know, it's 15 years, so. What happened to the suspect? The one who got off innocent? I don't know. He disappeared from public view. No one knows where to. If he's still alive, he'd be about 50 years old now. I guess I can understand why he'd go into hiding. It'd be hard to live a normal life after being a murder suspect in such a big case. So, where was your father a lawyer? He was. Gregory Edgeworth. He was quite famous at the time, apparently. So, you were sort of trying to follow in his footsteps. I'd rather not talk about it. Who would have thought that'd be a photo? Edgeworth? Did you shoot him? What do you think, Wright? I don't think you're the kind to point a gun at anyone. No. So, you didn't shoot him? No, I didn't. It wasn't me. Right. It pains me to ask you this now. I know, you want us to defend you. Yes. Will you? Of course we will. Ah, who could have guessed this day would come? Not me. This is my chance to finally pay you back. Pay him back? Pay me back? For what? I don't remember ever doing anything for you. Never mind. I guess you don't really need to know. Huh. My letter of request. Please give it to Detective Gumshoe. Alright. Well, I guess we should... Huh? What's that? Earthquake! Nick! It's a big one! What? It's calming down. Ew. That was scary. Huh? Huh? Where's Edgeworth? There. He's on the floor in a ball. Shivering. I guess he doesn't do so well with earthquakes. I've heard of running, but curling up in a ball. Well, I guess we're done. Mr. Edgeworth doesn't seem like he's going to stand up anytime soon. Let's go, Nick. Right. We have to give Edgeworth's letter request to Detective Gumshoe. Alright, let's go give Detective Gumshoe the good news. But yeah, Edgeworth is really, really bad with earthquakes. For reasons that'll become obvious the further we get into the case. It's like, you know that meme where the guy's wearing like the shirt that says "No Fears," and then it's like the one shirt with something on it? That would be earthquakes for Edgeworth. One fear. Earthquakes. Anyway.
What's going on here?
What's wrong, Detective?
This wild lady comes up in here a while ago. Says she came to talk to y'all after hearing what Mr. Wright had to say. What's this all about, pal?
Hey, Coyle. We are just almost done with the first section of investigations for Turnabout Goodbye. We just got past the part where Miles asked us to be his defense attorney, and then the earthquake happened, and he, curled up into a ball. So, lot of heart.
Why are you going around finding more witnesses?
Oh, also, Mew stopped in earlier. She had to go, though.
You want to give Mr. Edgeworth the death sentence, pal?
No, not at all. Just, I mean, she did see something. There's nothing I can do about that. I can't go around covering up evidence.
You trying to say something about the way I do my job?
No, sir. Well, let's give him some good news. Look what I got.
Hey, you did it, pal. Glad I waited till the last minute to file those papers. I'll rip them up and start new ones for you.
Thanks, detective.
Well, see you in court tomorrow then. Good luck, pal. Hey, you guys feel that earthquake a little while back? I was worried.
Worried? We're fine. I've lived out here my whole life. I'm pretty used to them by now.
Oh, I wasn't worried about you two. I was worried about Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, right. He did seem to overreact a little, now that you mention it.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. It was a pretty big quake. I'm gonna go check on him. You two go eat and get your rest for tomorrow's trial. Later.
I wonder what it is with Mr. Edgeworth and earthquakes. I wonder. He was never that scared of them when he was in school. Then again, I was only in the same class as him for 4th grade. He transferred to another school after that. I wonder what happened to Edgeworth. December 26th, 9:44 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Karma. That's right. Oh, that's right. Manfred von Karma. He's the best prosecutor there is. He hasn't lost a case in his 40-year career. He's a god of prosecution, right? A god. Not a single case. He'll do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. Sounds like someone else I know, Edgeworth. You don't understand. I mean, he'll really do anything. Manfred von Karma is a man to be feared. That's quite a claim coming from someone who forges evidence. He taught me what it really means to prosecute. What? Just picture a prosecutor as vicious as me, multiplied by a factor of 10. So was he your teacher, Mr. Edgeworth? Something like that. And now he's trying to get you found guilty? What a creep. Oh, wait. Maybe he's planning on losing on purpose to help you out. Not a chance. He hasn't lost once in 40 years. 40 years! He's as ruthless as me, times 20. That's pretty ruthless. Like I said, he's a god amongst prosecutors. I guess that's something like Mia was to me. Speaking of Mia... Maya? Uh-huh? We could really be using Mia's help right now, don't you think? Oh. I can't. Sorry. I tried. I really tried, but I couldn't reach. You couldn't reach? I think it's because I haven't been training. My powers are weak again. Oh man, what bad timing. I'm really sorry. I'll try my best. I hope so. What are you whispering about? It's nothing. Well, it's time. Let's head in. December 26th, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 3. How do I do Victor von Karma? I suppose I make him deep and German. I'm not very good with German accents, though. We'll see. I can't make him just judge.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Von Karma, is the prosecution ready?
Fool. You seriously think I would stand here were I not completely prepared?
Right. My apologies.
He's even got the judge scared.
Very well. Your opening statement, please.
Decisive evidence. A decisive witness. What else could possibly be required? It sounds too much like Edgeworth. It does, and Edgeworth is supposed to be British, and he's supposed to be German.
Nothing, of course. That should be fine. The prosecution may call its first witness.
What's with this guy? Is he royalty or something? How am I supposed to fight against this? I called the detective in charge of this. No, it still sounds too much like my Edgeworth voice. I call the detective in charge of this case. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yeah. It's gotta be low. Maybe I just make it like a really low Edgeworth? That'd probably be close enough. It distinguished the two. I call the detective in charge of this case. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yeah, that would work too. But that's kind of what I'm doing for... That's kind of what I'm doing for the judge. I guess I'm making him a bit more gravelly. I'll try and do it. I have like 3 in-game days to mess with the voice, so I'll try and do it. I'm kind of doing that with the judge. I'm making it a bit more gravelly, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing with the judge. Anyway, okay, Gumshoe's first. Let's see how this goes. Describe the incident. Now!
Yes, sir.
Detective Gumshoe looks nervous.
Please take a look at the map. The murder happened late Christmas Eve, around midnight. There was one boat in the very middle of the lake. There were 2 men on the boat. Now, there happened to be a woman camping here on the edge of the lake. At 12:10 a.m., she heard 2 pistol shots. Then the boat started to move. It went towards the boat rental shop.
Yeah, that's just the judge. I'll try to make him... I think I'll try just to make him sound eternally angry. That seems about right. I'll just make him, like, eternally angry. Testify to the court about your arrest, now!
Wait! Mr. Von Karma?
Yes?
Actually, I'm the one that's supposed to be handling these proceedings.
Wrong. There's only one thing you need to do here. You will slam down your gavel and say the word guilty. That is your role. That sounds familiar. Hasn't somebody said that before? Oh, that's right. His daughter says that, doesn't she? She says that as well.
Yes, of course. You're quite right.
No, he's not. Anyway, there's a huge contradiction right there. Oh.
We headed to the
Sorry.
scene of the crime as fast as we could. That's where we found Mr. Edgeworth. No, I didn't suspect him of anything at all. But the next morning, a body was found in the lake. So we had to arrest Mr. Edgeworth. I see. Very well.
I thought he was going to mention the 2 shots thing, because that's obviously a contradiction. Because the person was only shot once, so... Begin your cross-examination, attorney. Now! I should make it deeper. Begin your cross-examination, attorney. Now! Yeah, that's better. So, let me check the... Okay, let me get times a minute. So, he died at around... sometime on the 24th or 25th. So, sometime around midnight. That's not going to be useful. 2:15. Okay. So, 30 minutes around midnight. That lines up. Alright, let's just start pressing him for more information right now. You received a call from a man?
Yup.
But you said there was a woman camping there. She was the one who heard the 2 gunshots, right? Yeah, it's definitely deep and, like, angry. That woman and the man who called into the reports are 2 different people, obviously. Different people? There were 2 witnesses. Ugh. Their testimonies were quite similar, however. Today I've summoned the woman who was camping. The woman who was camping? Lotta's heart. Lotta's a lot of fun to do for me, just because she has that southern accent, so I get to overdo the southern accent a lot. What happened next, detective? How long was it between receiving the report and your arrival at the lake?
Well, I'd say it was about 3 minutes.
That's pretty fast.
Our motto for the month is get there quick.
Detective, you will refrain from casually revealing department secrets.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Do that, and you will be able to look forward to your next salary review.
So much to look forward to these days.
This is no time for daydreaming. Continue.
Yes, sir.
What was Mr. Edgeworth like when you saw him then?
Well, from what I saw, he looked pretty relaxed. Not like a murderer at all, really.
Detective, the report requires the facts, not your opinion. How many years have you been on the force? Facts only, detective. Hard, cold, objective facts.
Yes, sir.
Man, he's got his share of objections. Why didn't you think he was suspicious?
You should know. We have a deep, trusting relationship with the prosecutors.
Detective, the court isn't interested in your musings. Deep, trusting, poppycock. I've never heard so many flippant comments from an active detective on the force. Detective Gumshoe doesn't look so good. Continue, now! Did you find any clues on the body?
A single bullet was recovered from the body. He was shot through the heart, fatally.
Judge, here's the bullet. It didn't strike bone, so its shape is well preserved.
Very well. The court accepts this bullet into evidence. So, we had to arrest Mr. Edgeworth.
Why is that?
Well, we found the murder weapon in the boat.
The murder weapon?
A pistol.
Detective Gumshoe? Detective Gumshoe? Detective Gumshoe! That is a vital piece of information. Please revise your testimony.
Right. Sorry. Right. Sorry, Your Honor. The murder weapon we found in the boat was decisive evidence.
What about the pistol made it decisive evidence? Tisk, tisk, tisk. He has the same evil laugh as Edgeworth.
There were fingerprints on the pistol found in the boat. They were clear prints from Mr. Edgeworth's right hand.
What?
Order! Order! So Mr. Edgeworth's fingerprints were found on the murder weapon? Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, this is the weapon in question.
Accepted into evidence.
Pistol added to the court record.
Members of the court,
We now have the pistol used in the murder and the bullet found in the body. Hold on, before you keep going, Karma. I just want to check something. How many bullets are in this pistol? Fired 3 times. Bears prints from Edgeworth's right hand. So, if she only heard 2 bullets, and we only found 1, where did the other 2 bullets go?
Detective! Yes, sir.
Was the bullet found in the body fired from this pistol?
Yes. Yes. The ballistic markings on the bullet match the pistol.
Hey, Nick. What does he mean, ballistic markings?
Shocking!
To imagine someone here does not know something as basic as ballistic markings. Nick, he's glaring at me.
Tisk. Very well. I'll explain. Actually, Judge, you do it. Me? Ahem. Ballistic markings are like the fingerprints of a gun. The barrel leaves distinctive marks on it each bullet fires. You can examine these ballistic fingerprints to see which gun fired the shot. It's quite accurate. Indeed. This leads to one inevitable conclusion. The bullet found in the victim's heart was, without a doubt, fired from this pistol. This pistol which, as you may recall, was covered with the defendant's own fingerprints. Order! Order!
This is bad. This makes it look like Edgeworth did it.
Well, Judge, I'd say it's almost decisive, yes. Honestly, I could declare a verdict at this point. However, you wish to hear the witness speak, no doubt. Very well. I am somewhat fatigued, and so I will take a brief break. I will call my witness after the recess, which will last 10 minutes. Judge. Yes? What are you doing? A 10-minute recess, now! But wait, Just bang your flimsy gavel and get on with it, man! Yes. Ahem. This court will take a 10-minute recess.
Who's running this court, anyway? Edgeworth, what's going on here? Your fingerprints were on the murder weapon. And that fog of photo makes one thing clear. The only one who could have shot that man was the person in the photo. True. Was that you in the boat? Yes, it was me. What? But you must believe me. I didn't shoot him. Then who did? I don't know. You don't know? Weren't you right there? I heard a gunshot from very close by. Then the other man fell from the boat. I can't say why, but I thought at the time that he had shot himself. You mean it was a suicide? That's the only explanation I can come up with. Huh. How am I gonna convince anyone of that? Say, Maya. Huh? What? Any progress with Mia? Oh. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, it's no good. I know. I'm not good for anything, am I, Nick? If I can't call my sister, I might as well not be here, right? No, I need you here. We're not gonna say she's useless. That's so mean. Why do they even make that an option? Why is that an option? Okay. No, of course not. I need you here. I can see you're always trying to help out. Even if you don't actually help, it's the thought that counts, right? It's okay, Nick. You don't have to make me feel better. I don't know anything about trials or defense. What's more, I'm a spirit medium who can't even contact spirits. Oh, everyone has their off days. I mean, I've just been getting lucky lately. But you never know when my luck is going to run out. Really? Whoa, right. Don't jinx this case any worse than it already is. It's bad for my heart. Oh, sorry. Whoops.
Court is back in session. Mr. Von Carmel, call your witness. Yes. Will Miss Lotta Hart take the stand? Lotta Hart, you are a research student at a university?
That I am.
Good. Begin by telling us what you saw the night of the incident. And don't add anything trivial or subjective. Understand?
Y'all need to learn some manners.
Understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Very well. Your testimony, please.
It was Christmas Eve, just after midnight, I reckon. I was in my car. I heard this bang come up from the lake. When I looked out the window, I saw two gents in a boat. Then there was another bang. There wasn't nary a thing on the lake but that boat.
Enough.
Huh?
Judge, she happened to take a photo of the incident. This is that photo. Accept it as evidence. Well, this is a surprise. This looks like the very moment of the murder. Order! I will remove you from this court if I do not have order immediately. As the witness testified, she looked at the lake when she looked at the lake when she heard the shot. There were no other boats on that lake. So, the man in the boat with the victim must have been the one who shot him. Yes, it was the defendant, Miles Edgeworth. Order! 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 I will have order!
And I will have a drink of water. I'm gonna swap over to the second glass of water. Okay.
Well, Judge. The evidence is decisive. I have very little doubt about this case. Very well, this court finds the defendant.
Objection. Wait, Your Honor. I haven't cross-examined the witness yet.
A cross-examination? We have photographic proof. What question can there possibly be? This photo is worth 1,000 words, and they all read guilty. You lose. Or, do you claim to have found a contradiction in her testimony?
Huh?
Very well, if you have to, you may cross-examine the witness. You will only flounder and ask meaningless questions. You will fail to find anything. And then I will have you held in contempt of court.
Nick? Contempt? Contempt of court, you know? I guess I understand. Well, what are you going to do? Do you really think there was a contradiction with the facts in her testimony? I think there was. I think I noticed one little thing. Wow, I'm impressed, Nick. I didn't notice anything. Right, let's take him on. Yeah, I got a bad feeling about this. Bum, 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 bum. I understand. I will cross-examine the witness.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Very well. I pray for your sake that this isn't a waste of time.
Were you watching the very moment the shot rang out? Well, yeah, sure.
You're asking meaningless questions. Meaningless! Contradictions, Mr. Wright, not meaningless babble.
On Karma, I think I hit you. He's trying to keep me from talking to the witness. To what end? So, you weren't looking at the lake at the time? Nope. I looked after I heard that noise.
She said that already. I asked you to find contradictions, not literally chat with the witness.
So, clearly she's only hearing 2 pistol shots, but this gun was fired 3 times. Barring any... And plus, Edgeworth says himself that he heard a shot. So, that means a total of 4 shots might have rung out at a certain point. That she's saying she only heard 2. Nope. We messed up there. I'm gonna have to keep pressing her on other stuff. See if I can get anything else out of her, I think. Are you sure about that? Yeah, sure as country gal can be. That sounds pretty sure. Might as well press. How come you're so sure? Well, heck, I scanned the whole lake. Scanned the whole lake? It almost sounds like she was more interested in the lake than the boat. Miss Hart, you...
Mr. Wright, the witness has answered the question in full. No need for further questions. Objection sustained.
That's what I'm... Yeah, I know. She wasn't there trying to photograph meteor showers. She was there for the Nessie thing. What is it? Gordy? Yeah, Gordy.
Sustained. Yes, of course.
Oh, great. What am I supposed to do now? There wasn't any contradictions in there. Yes, there was. Sorry, Nick. If only my sister were here. Maya's really taking this hard. Just after midnight, you say? In other words, it was no longer Christmas Eve, but Christmas Day. Huh? Yeah. Well, yes.
I know what you want to find contradictions, but really... I hope your contradiction is a little more relevant to the trial. Witness, continue your testimony.
Why were you camping there anyway? I'm a research student at my university. I was taking pictures to use in my research. What research? This all sounds suspicious. Miss Hart, could you be more specific about your research?
What does this witness's motive in camping by the lake have anything to do with the case? The answer is nothing. I object to this line of questioning. Objection sustained. Wait, now, I'm the one.
Gosh dang it, their voices are mixing.
I'm the one who says that. Well, then say it already. Objection sustained. Objection sustained.
Thanks for nothing, Your Honor. So we pressed her on that. Didn't we? So you weren't looking at the lake. Okay, so yeah, we already saw this bit. Gosh dang it, Kiki, stop it. Could you clearly see the 2 men? Just look at the picture. clear enough for you? Uh-oh. Wait a second. I wasn't asking you about the photo. I was asking if you saw the two men. Yeah, well, of course. The witness has testified that she saw them. There's also a photo. You'd best look elsewhere for your precious contradictions. He jumped in quick. He's hiding something. Enough. I think we've all heard we need to hear, Mr. Wright. It seems you are unable to find a contradiction in the testimony worth noting. But, Your Honor. You keep your promise. Mr. Wright, I'm afraid that I will have to penalize any further outbursts by holding you in contempt of court. And if that happens, you'll have to leave the courtroom immediately. Understood? Uh-huh. Nick, Lada's testimony is fishy, Nick. Real fishy. I know what you mean. But if I can't say anything, what can I do? I believe we've covered the evidence sufficiently to make a decision. Then pass your judgment. Very well. Mr. Miles Edgeworth, please take the stand. Who was that? It was me. Maya. Is something wrong? Do you need to use the facilities? No, I do not. Lada Hart, your testimony stinks. It's unclear whether you were actually looking at the lake. It's highly doubtful you actually saw Mr. Edgeworth. Tell us the truth. This is a matter of life and death. Lada, did you really clearly see Mr. Edgeworth? Did you see him fire that pistol? You will stand down. The court does not acknowledge defense outbursts. Answer me, Lada. What's the big idea? Treating me like some kind of criminal? I saw him. I swear it. I saw Edgeworth. Enough, Judge. Declare the defense in contempt of court. Yes, of course. I'm sorry, but you were warned. Guard, escort Mr. Wright out of the courtroom. He is contempt of court and must leave. No! Wait! I was the one who made the outburst, Your Honor. Nick is innocent. Ha! What's the difference? All that remains is for the guilty verdict to be declared. Isn't that right, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Wrong. What? Did you hear what Miss Hart just said? She said she clearly saw Mr. Edgeworth. That was not in the testimony. That changed her testimony, and I have a right to cross-examine her again. Order! You're in contempt of court. It's too late for wild claims. Judge, sustain my objection. Yep, see you later, Coil. What? Coil? What did you do? Coil? What did you say? Like, obviously don't spell it out in chat again, otherwise Streamlabs will auto-ban you. Yeah. Yeah. I just have the the default settings. I actually had to tone it down some because it was getting too much because people were typing in caps and it was like timing people out for that. Yeah. Gotcha. No, you're good. It's just, here, I'll fix that. It shouldn't do that. Honestly, it's fine if you curse in chat. It's really not a problem unless people are like doing it over too much. I do have the N-word set up to like ban people, but other than that, it really shouldn't be much that should be bannable or anything. It does that. It's dumb like that. which it doesn't even make any sense. Like, why would you delete the messages when you can literally just scroll back on the stream and they'll all be there until it gets deleted later? Like, all the messages are still there and up until the point in the stream when it deletes them. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm sorry, Mr. Von Karma, but I cannot.
I'll tone down Streamlabs again. It's being too aggressive again.
What? Miss Lotta Hart has made a new testimony. The defense does have a right to cross-examine her again. But he is in contempt of court.
No, I am. If you're going to arrest someone, arrest me.
Very well. Maya Fey, you will leave the courtroom immediately.
Nick, I did what I could. You have to do the rest. Good luck. I use OBS Studios. Yeah, Streamlabs OBS. Maya. It didn't make sense for me to use regular OBS because I'm only streaming on Twitch. Like, if I wanted more flexibility for like a different streaming platform or something, it would make sense to go to other ones. But because Streamlabs is like so integrated with Twitch at this point, it makes sense just to use Streamlabs, even if it isn't like it doesn't have all the like features that regular OBS does. At least for me, I don't know. That's just what I'm using.
Heh, I care not from this melodrama.
Listen well, Mr. Wright. I do not tolerate badgering of my witnesses. I'm running out of time. I'd better find a contradiction in here or else.
Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination.
That last statement. I saw it clear as day. The man on the boat was Mr. Edgeworth. That's it? Uh-oh. I don't know if I can find anything in that. What will Maya say? Oh, well, that's obviously not true. That's obviously false. It was foggy that night. Way too foggy. Got you. Got you, Miss Hart. Finally. What? You got what? Look at this photograph. The photo I took? The very same. There's something I want you to see in this photo. It's quite clearly visible. The fog, Miss Hart. So? This picture was taken with professional high-quality film, correct? Yet, even it could not capture the faces of the men on the boat. Yet you claim you saw Mr. Edgeworth. How? What? What?
Mr. Wright has a point.
That's why I told her not to say that in her testimony. Please. Yet now she has said it, Mr. Von Karma. How could you possibly see Mr. Edgeworth? Explain yourself.
Miss Hart.
Why?
Could you see the defendant that night?
Of course. I said I could and I meant I could.
Then please testify as to the circumstances of your sighting.
I did it. I finally found a hole in Von Karma's carefully vague testimony. How Edgeworth was seen. You're right. It was a cold night and the fog was thick as grits. So, once I finished setting up my camera, I got back in the car. Still, I brought my binoculars with me. When I heard that noise out on the lake, I looked out with my binoculars. See? No problem.
You use binoculars? Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
This one better be good. We're starting to get through now. Okay. Binoculars? Yeah, binoculars. Yesterday you mentioned that you were out looking for shooting stars, correct? Well, Yeah. Wouldn't you need a telescope, not binoculars for that? I got doubts about your camera, too. Was that really to take pictures of meteor showers?
The camera is irrelevant to this case.
You can't say that for certain.
Mr. Wright, is the camera really relevant to this case? If you believe it is, you may continue with this line of questioning. But know this, if you find nothing with this, there will be consequences. Well, Mr. Wright, do you wish to press further about the camera?
This is a make it or break it time. The camera is of utmost importance, Your Honor. It is perhaps the key to this entire case. Therefore, I will continue my line of questioning. Wow, maybe I went a little overboard there.
Very well. Mr. Hart, you will testify to the court about the camera.
Yeah, I hear ya. The camera was set up to take pictures of meteor shower. Miss Hart, what made you choose that lake to photograph meteors? You know the fog is thick on that lake. It's not very suited to stargazing. Yeah, well, you see, I guess I wasn't thinking too straight. Her.
Mr. Wright, I will not have you bettering my witness because of her challenged intellect.
Now, wait a minute.
Continue your testimony. You were saying how it was you saw Mr. Edgeworth? No unnecessary comments, please.
If there was a heavy fog, how would binoculars change that at all? What do you mean? Even binoculars can't see through fog. But you say you clearly saw him? I did. Yeah.
Enough! There is no room for doubt in her testimony.
She sounded pretty doubtful to me. But I have to find a clear contradiction first. I don't care how many Von Karma objections I get. I'm going to find a hole in this testimony if it's the last thing I do. So, how could you see Edgeworth? Now, just hold your horses for a second. You hasty Yankee types never find a gal where I'm from.
Defense attorneys have trouble with that as it is.
Nobody loves me. Oh wait, we already asked about this, didn't we? Yeah. Your camera? Yeah, it's got an automatic.
The issue we are concerned with here is Miss Hart seeing Mr. Edgeworth. The camera has nothing to do with this at all.
Objection sustained. He's not letting her answer any of my questions. Okay, I think... Okay, so... there was more than one sound, clearly. Nope, messed it up. Maybe the foggy photo? Clearly... Did we press R on this? Yeah, we did. So, finishing up. Okay, let me go over the evidence we have again. So, there's Lotta's camera. Okay. I mean, obviously she was actually there for Gordy. Your camera? Yeah, it's gone automatic. Hmm. No. Okay. So we press her on everything. Hmm. A little lost here. Let's see. Ah, okay, that's it. That's it. You were photographing shooting stars? That's a lie. Say as who? I saw the camera you set up yesterday. It was pointed directly at the lake. That's why. Yep. You have to point a camera upwards to take photos of the stars, Miss Hart. Oof.
Mr. Wright, what are you driving at?
The witness was not at the lake to photograph shooting stars, Your Honor.
Well, then exactly what was she photographing?
Your Honor, take a look at this. Miss Hart, this is what you were trying to photograph.
What's this? A newspaper article? Gordy? Ah, the sighting at Gourd Lake.
Well, Miss Hart? I never heard of no lake monster. You got proof or something? Let's see you prove that I was the one down at the lake trying to photograph this Gordy. I have it. Proof.
Intriguing. Very well, let's see it. And no joking around this time, please.
It's obvious. It's the camera itself. The proof, Miss Hart, is your own camera. Huh? Your camera was set to take photos in response to loud noises, correct? Thus, the photograph here, taken when a gun fired onto the lake. And here, this article about Gordy. According to this article, Gordy made a loud noise when it emerged. Well, you were trying to photograph Gordy, weren't you? That's why you had set your camera to respond to loud noises.
Order! Order! I see. I too thought it was a little strange.
Yeah, sure. Well, Miss Hart? You were camping there to try and take a photo of Gordy, weren't you? Yeah, not bad. Are all you lawyers that smart? So smart, boy. I was down there trying to photograph Gordy. You got me. So what? Huh? That don't change what I saw, does it?
Exactly. What you just said, used several precious minutes of our time to prove, is nothing more than that the witness is an idiot who thinks monsters exist.
Hey!
But, as she so succinctly said, so what? It changes nothing.
Not true. You were hiding the whole thing about Gordy for some reason, I know it. But what could it have been? Whatever it is, I'm getting to the bottom of this.
Miss Hart, why did you hide the fact that you were searching for Gordy from the court? Please revise your testimony.
Right. Fine. I'll testify. It won't change nothing, though. Something will change. It has to. And I'm going to spot it. Actually, I'm not a research student at a university. I'm an investigative photographer. Imagine what a scoop it'd be if I got a picture of that monster. That's why I was camping out by the lake. But that's all I was hiding. When I heard the bang, I looked right straight out at the lake. There wasn't much else to look at, so I just watched that boat the whole time. Then I saw a flash near one of the man's hands, and I heard another gunshot. I was looking right at that boat the whole time, crossed my heart, and hoped to fry.
Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. The witness's testimony is unchanged from before. Whether she is a research student or a photographer has no bearing on this case. There is no need to waste more of our time with another pointless cross-examination.
I claim the defense is right to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Von Karma's up to something. I know it. He doesn't want me to cross-examine her because... Why? Was there a contradiction?
Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. You seem sure of yourself. You must have something in mind. Ha! That would be a first.
Very funny.
You understand that this is your last chance at a cross-examination, Mr. Wright. If there is no problem with this testimony this time, we will let the witness leave. I will announce my verdict at that time, Mr. Wright. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, okay, we already heard that. Then what manner of person are you? I'm not sure I'm highfalutin enough to be called a manner of anything. Okay. I think it's time you told us why you felt you had to hide your true purpose at the lake. Heck, if word got out what I was up to, the lake be swarming with competitors. Competitors? Yeah, second-rate shutterbugs trying to steal my scoop. Ah, is that the only reason you were hiding the truth? Well, actually.
Mr. Wright, I'll not have you asking questions with no relevance to this case.
Whatever you say, Von Karma. I know you told her to keep quiet. Exactly what sort of sound was it? Well, I never heard one before, so I can't say for sure, but it sounded like a gunshot. It was a lot sharper sound than I would have expected. There wasn't much else to look at. Yep. I don't know, if she heard a bang, and she thought Gordy was out there, I kind of doubt she was wasting time looking at a boat. What? What did I do now? What are you giving me that look for? Definitely suspicious. Maybe it's time for some evidence.
Witness, continue.
Hold your hush puppies, Pops. I'm getting there. Was there nothing on the lake but the boat at that time? Huh? Wait, so you're thinking maybe he was shot from some other place? I don't think so. Nope. The lake was smooth as glass, and nobody was on the shore, neither. Better find some sort of contradiction. Okay. I won't be able to beat Von Karma any other way. There has to be something. Yeah, so the thing about... Okay, so that's why I was camping. But that's all I was doing. When I heard the bang, I looked straight out at that lake. There wasn't much else to look at, so I just watched the boat the whole time. I doubt that's true. She would have been looking for Nessie. So, do we have some evidence that proves that? I don't know, maybe we just... Gordy article again? Here, let me just say it's safe just in case. Okay, it was. Miss Hart, were you really looking at that boat? What's with you? Of course I was looking at it. It was the only thing out there. Any normal person would be looking at it. I agree. Any normal person would. But you are far from normal. What? Y'all want to step over here and say that? You were camping at the lake to take a picture of Gordy. Think about it. What would you do if you heard a loud noise? You'd be scanning the lake for any sign of Gordy, that's what. You wouldn't give the boat a second thought. Ah!
Order. Continue, Mr. Wright.
You testified that you were watching the boat through binoculars. However, you wouldn't need binoculars to watch that boat. You needed them to search for Gordy. And that's what you were doing. Well? Well, now that y'all mention it, I did sort of take my binoculars and kind of scan the lake a bit. I mean, Gordy might have been out there, you know.
Miss Hart, are you saying that you were not watching the boat then?
Sorry, y'all. I wasn't fibbing, really. I thought it, you know, I could be a witness to a murder and all. I kind of got excited. I was sure I was watching that boat. Till now.
This is totally uncalled for.
But hey. You got the photograph, you got the proof.
Still, we can't see who is shooting who in this.
Right. That's why I took this photo and...
Witness, that's enough. You've had a long day. Shut your pie hole.
Shut my what? What was she going to say? She took the photo, and what? Wait a second.
She even had a photograph to prove it.
But you really can't tell from the photo who is shooting.
That's why she said she's going to enlarge the photo. She said it'll drop the quality a mite, but should let us see who's who.
She enlarged that photo. Why won't Von Karma let her show it? I've got a hunch. I bet the enlarged photo shows something bad for Von Karma. This is my chance. If I'm wrong, though, it'll mean prison for Edgeworth, or worse. What should I do? Make her show the enlargement. Ms. Hart, look at this photograph. You enlarged this photograph, did you not? Yeah, I did. Why has that enlargement not been presented to the court?
But because it does not exist.
What y'all talking about? You were the one who told me not to show it in court in the first place. You old fool.
What's the meaning of this, Mr. Von Karma?
Miss Hart, show the photo to the court. Show us the enlargement.
The prosecution objects to the submission of this evidence. Objection denied. The witness will show the enlargement to the court.
Here it is.
We still cannot see who is firing in this. It could be the defendant, or maybe it's not. Regardless, I'll accept this as evidence.
Lake photo added to the court record.
Happy now, Mr. Wright?
There has to be something.
You asked for the enlargement, you got the enlargement. And little good it has done any of us. That's why I requested she not show it. I suppose this means that the cross-examination is over, obviously. Then I would like to close the cross-examination of Miss Lotta Hart. And none too soon. That was a flagrant waste of my time. Mr. Von Karma, do you have anything to add? I stated everything I needed to when this trial began. Decisive evidence? A decisive witness? What else could possibly be required? Nothing, of course. Then, I believe it is time for me to declare my verdict.
Wait, it's not supposed to go like this. There has to be a clue in this photo. Somewhere. This is bad. Real bad. What should I do? Show other evidence. Wait! Your Honor? This evidence.
I believe we have spent enough time talking about evidence. Indeed. We've heard opinions on every piece of evidence but this enlargement. I see no point in retracing our steps.
This is bad. Real bad. What should I do? Object to the enlargement, I guess? Because we can't just wait and see. Your Honor? There is something decidedly strange with this enlargement.
What might that be? Mr. Wright, you will show the court what you mean. What about this photo is strange?
Okay, here goes nothing. I'll show the judge what's strange about this photo. Alright, let me take a look at this again. Oh, that's right. The gun had prints from Edgeworth's right hand, but the person in this photo is shooting with their left hand. Here, Your Honor.
The shooter? I'm not sure I understand. What's about this shooter is strange.
Look at the hand holding the pistol, Your Honor. The hand... That hand directly contradicts with another piece of evidence.
This man's left hand does what?
Let me show you. I'll show you the evidence that the left hand contradicts. The evidence is clear. The man in this photograph is holding that pistol in his left hand. However, the prints on the murder weapon were from Edgeworth's right hand. Ergo, the man shooting the pistol in this photograph is not Mr. Edgeworth.
Now that everyone in the courtroom has quieted down, I would like to reconvene this court of law. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have given us definitive proof today. We now know that it was not Mr. Edgeworth who fired the pistol that night. However, it leaves us with a rather large problem. If Mr. Edgeworth didn't do it, then who shot our victim? Precisely. As we have seen, there were no other people on the lake that night. Who but the defendant could have shot the victim?
The victim himself. There is only one explanation remaining. The man who shot the victim was none other than the victim himself. Because that lines up with what Edgeworth says happened. He thought the man shot himself.
Order! Order! So, you are saying that the victim committed suicide?
I thought that's what actually happened, but it's enough to get us another day to look for more information. Yes, Your Honor. I can think of no other explanation.
Indeed. That does seem to be the only remaining option. I'm so very, very sorry, Mr. Wright. But suicide is out of the question.
What?
An examination of the victim's wound reveals the distance at which he was shot.
The distance?
The victim was clearly shot from further than a meter away.
A meter? That's 3 feet.
There's no way it could have been suicide.
That's longer than the length of the boat, probably, actually. No, that's wrong. The boat would be longer than that. Measurements are... I mess up with measurements.
Order! Order! Mr. Von Karma, are you sure of the accuracy of your data?
Of course. I had already considered the possibility of suicide, you see. Autopsy report updated in the court record.
I see. Very well, allow me to state my opinion. Considering the situation, the shooter had to be the defendant, Mr. Edgeworth. However, the prints on the gun reveal that the shooter was not Mr. Edgeworth. This is a conundrum. Therefore, I would like to suspend proceedings for this trial for the day. The court orders the defense and the prosecution to further investigate this matter. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is all. The court is adjourned.
Phew, that was a close one. Hey, don't you have anything to say? No, I have yet to be declared innocent, right? Well, yeah, but what happened out there on that lake anyway? If he didn't commit suicide, then who? The shooter was about a meter away, too. What? Don't give me that look. I did not kill him. I was just kidding around. Look, I'm gonna go check on Maya. Oh, right. What? Tell her something for me. What? Tell her to watch what she says in court. That's all. Yeah, I'm sure she'll be happy to hear you say that, Edgeworth. Jerk. I requisitioned a transcript of Lada's entire testimony. I thought it might give me some ammunition for the trial tomorrow. Of course, she didn't see the shooter, so the only part of her testimony that stood was the bang she heard. Also, we'll finally get to the, fact that they never brought up during the whole first part of this trial that 3 bullets were shot, but nobody ever heard more than 2 gunshots, and the camera apparently didn't record. Okay. To be continued. So we will start on this next round of investigation today. We will probably most definitely not get through the whole thing, but we will start it today. And then we'll probably end up starting the next phase of trial tomorrow. Yeah, I know. There's the person who runs the boat place. I remember this case more and more. I think I also remember who done it, but I'm not spoiling. Maya! Hey, Nick, it's you! I'm glad Mr. Edgeworth made it through the day okay. It's a relief. Hey, why'd you do that anyway? I don't know. I just knew I had to do something. I know I'm not the lawyer my sister was. I'm sorry. Well, you did save the trial. Behave from now on, okay? Oh, okay. Have you been questioned yet? No, not yet. Detective Gumshoe was here just now. He said, seeing as this is your first offense, we'll let you go after questioning. Phew. Oh, and he wanted me to get bail money ready. You can pay for me, okay? Huh? How much? I don't know. I guess they'll send you a bill or something. Why do I picture giant bales of money every time I hear the word bail? Any luck with Mia? None. I can't get through to her at all. I tried. I really did. I don't know what to do. I think I probably shouldn't have stopped my training. She sounds like she really did do her best. I should check and see if there are any waterfalls in the local area. I wonder if I'll ever see my sister again. Okay, let's go say hi to Gumshoe. I guess that's the goodest places I need to start. Detective Gumshoe's not here. Ah, shoot. Gumshoe's at the scene of the crime. Gumshoe's at the scene again today. Huh? Oh, really? He's a live wire, that one. Got into a fight with the chief for not following protocol. Not following protocol? Bet he wouldn't help them build the case against Edgeworth. There are fewer than there were yesterday, but the cops are still around in the park. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe is here today. I haven't seen Larry around today at all. Probably off paying through the nose on a date with the lovely Beyonce. Sounds like... That's probably just like... That's gotta be a joke on Beyonce, right? Beyonce's gotta be a joke on Beyonce. I don't think we ever see Beyonce, but it's her name sounds like a mix of like Kylie Jenner and Beyonce. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really important. I don't think she ever appears. Looks like the boat rental shop is closed today, too. Hey, Detective Gumshoe.
Hey, pal. Trial today. It,
Yes? What about the trial?
well, I was gonna say, good show, but it wasn't really all that. Though you did save Edgeworth, I guess. I just wasn't sure how to thank you, you know?
Thanks. Detective Gumshoe? Any idea what strategy Von Karman's planning for tomorrow?
It sounds like he's bringing in another witness.
Another witness? Oh, right. He said something about that in the trial today. There were 2 witnesses! I was wondering who that other witness was. Who was it?
Sorry, pal. As much as I'd like to, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information.
Right. Oh, right. I wanted to ask you something about Edgeworth.
What's up?
Is he afraid of earthquakes? I never heard about anything about that before.
Mr. Edgeworth doesn't talk about himself too much, see. But there's one thing that's clear as day. Him hating crime the way he does, and him becoming a lawyer, and him being scared of earthquakes. It all started with that incident.
The DL6 incident?
Yup, that's the one. 15 years ago, when he saw his father shot before his very eyes. He still feels the pain now. You can see it in his eyes.
I wanted to talk to you about Maya Fey.
Huh? She's not out on bail yet? That's strange. I told him to let her go as soon as they had their report written up. Man, I don't know what would have happened in that courtroom today if it weren't for her. Seeing her get dragged out by the bailiff. I'll be honest with you, pal. I should have cheered too. Edgeworth, he was so moved I saw his lip trembling.
Really? Cold as ice Edgeworth?
He was really grateful for what she did, you know? I'm going back to head back to the station. I'll get the report on Maya and get her out of there as soon as I can.
Thank you. Oh, wait. I was wondering, how much is bail going to be?
Don't worry about that. Mr. Edgeworth is posting the whole amount.
What? Edgeworth?
Didn't I tell you? He's grateful to her for what she did. Alright, pal. Well, don't forget to go pick her up, okay?
Maybe I can get Edgeworth to pay this month's rent, too. Somehow I doubt that. Alright, let's go pick up Maya. Hey, Nick! You finally came! They just finished the paperwork. I'm free to go. Free at last, eh? Those interrogators were really mean. They were like, okay, what did you do this time? Like it was some sort of criminal. Can you believe it? Well, they let you out in the end, didn't they? Oh, that reminds me. Thanks for bail. Thank Edgeworth. Huh? He posted bail for you. Said he was grateful for what you did. Mr. Edgeworth did that? Now, right? Don't be greedy with money. I think it's more of a fact that if you think about it, we've only had a couple of clients. So, I mean, if these are literally all the cases they've had, then they're having like a case like every couple months. So, things are tight probably. I have to make it up to him. We've got to win this case, Nick. What do you think we should do next? We're kind of lacking in the clues department. We could go to the park and look for Gordy. I was kidding! Still, if there are any clues out there, the park's as good as any. What do you say? Shall we head down there? Sure! Oh, there's another old person in this case. Oh no. How am I gonna and oh no! He's the next witness, isn't he? So I'm gonna have the judge, that guy, and um Von Karma all in the same room talking to each other. No, my voice. Okay, whatever. I'll get to it when I get to it. There aren't many cops around today, are there? They're probably back at the precinct, working up the case against Edgeworth. Hey, y'all. Hey, it's Lotta. Hey, it's Lotta. Y'all really did it today. What did we do now? No, I'm not complaining. See, I did a little thinking, a little self-reflection, you might say. I realized that being a witness is a mighty big responsibility. But I just went up there and started blabbing any old thing that came to mind. Lotta. So, you see, I want to make it up to y'all. Make it up? What do you think of the vote? What did you think of the trial? To be honest, I was just doing it half just to say I'd been a witness, even though I didn't really see anything. I kind of convinced myself I had, though. That happens a lot more than you would think. Like, a lot more than you would think. People see what they expect to see, and honestly, in actual cases, witness testimony is very fallible. Very, very fallible. Now in the age of cameras and everything, though, that's much less of an issue, but it's still, witness testimony is very fallible. Because people think they see things that they actually don't. Or they're so convinced, or they tell themselves that they saw something that they really didn't see. So. Or they think they saw something, and then somebody says, yeah, you saw it, and they're immediately convinced of that they saw something, you know? So. I kind of convinced myself I had, though. I'm sorry. I know I caused y'all a lot of trouble. Well, memory is a tricky, vague little thing. Yeah, I sure know that now. I'll be fine the next time I witness a murder. Right. You mean the first time you witness a murder? What about Gordy? Right. Well, the way I figure, the trial's only stoking the flames of Gordy fever. I'll get my exclusive photos and rocket to stardom. All right, Lotta, you go, girl. I wish I could be an investigative photographer, too. Finish your spirit medium training first. Lotta, what do you mean by making it up to us? Well, you see, actually, I got a bit of information for you. What? That Von Karma didn't want me to say nothing about it. What information? Now we're getting to the heart of it. See, I reckon we might be able to do ourselves a little exchange. Exchange? I thought this was a make it up to us. Right. I propose a little exchange to make it up to you. What? Information don't come cheap, my friend. Hey, I see you thinking, my, how unsophisticated these southern folks are. It's written all over your face. Let me tell you, most southerns are way more sophisticated than you. I'm just the exception, okay? Well, what'll it be? We gonna deal or not? What do we do, Nick? Deal or no deal. Now there's an old TV show I haven't thought of in a while. We don't have any other leads, so I don't think we have a choice here. Okay. How much? Huh? You completely off your rocker? I may be not be sophisticated, but I'm not trying to rob the poor. Huh? The only fair exchange for information is information. Listen good. What I need from you is information about Gordy. Whoa! Gordy? But Gordy doesn't... I mean, Gordy might not exist. Then bring me proof that he shows he don't. I'll be keeping watch from the car, okay? You see something? Y'all come to me first, got it? Okay. Right. See y'all later. Okay, Nick, let's get hunting. Hunting? You don't seriously mean... Gordy? I sure do. What about Edgeworth? We're searching for Gordy for him, Nick. Don't you get it? Okay. And how exactly do we search for a make-believe monster? Maybe we can find a monster myth specialist? Maybe Larry would know something. Whoa, that's new. What's that? The Steel Samurai, Nick. Yo, Maya! Larry, what the heck is this? Oh, it was my girl Keontae's idea. She was all, if you like, put this here, it would be like, totally cool, really cool. Dude, she gave it to me along with the banner. Wow, that's real impressive. She could find those for you. Well, she knows a lot of people. And that show's finished now, so she got them for free. Right. Yo, Nick! What happened with Edgeworth? Well, we made it through the first day in court, all right. I don't know how good our prospects are from here on, though. Huh. Hey, Larry, did you know Edgeworth's secret weakness? He's terrified of earthquakes. He acts like a little boy. Huh? That's weird. I don't think he was ever like that in school. No? Really? Well, we were only in the same class for a year. He transferred schools pretty quickly. Transferred? Right, when the DL6 incident happened. Doesn't look like Larry knows about it, though. Hey, Larry, what was that big thing up there before? Huh? Oh, the big guy? I've had that for about a month, yeah. It was a big hit with the kids. Why wasn't it there yesterday? Huh? Huh? Oh, right. The compressor was busted. Compressor? Yeah, it's that little unit by my hot dog stand. That's why I used to put air in the Steel Samurai. It broke a little while ago, so I sent it in for repairs. Oh, and here I thought you'd inflated it by yourself. Doesn't that Steel Samurai look a little out of place? I mean, it's so huge. I guess it's good advertising. Something about the Steel Samurai just doesn't work for me. Huh? Really? It looks pretty well made to me. Still a novice, aren't you, Nick? Really? Really? True connoisseurs like Cody and me don't fall for this kind of stuff. These Steel Samurai fans are obviously in a league of their own. Alright. Let's go check out the boat rental shop. So far, nobody's been here. Hey, look, somebody's here. It's always so quiet here. I wonder if the boat shop is closed for good. Well, with the murder on the lake and all, they're probably just taking a vacation till it blows over. I get it. Ah, still nobody here. Alright, where do we go from here? Well, I suppose we haven't checked out... we could go to the Criminal Affairs Department.
Hey there, pal. What's up? You look out of sorts. Wait, you didn't go and do something that's gonna hurt Mr. Edgeworth's case again.
What do you mean, again?
Whatever. Have a seat, pal. I'm here for you if you need anything. Besides money, that is.
How's the investigation proceeding?
It's not, really. We have another meeting coming up. We're supposed to talk about Mr. Edgeworth's motive.
His motive?
See, Mr. Edgeworth's father died in the DL6 incident, and the guy who got the lone suspect declared innocent was the victim in this case. Robert Hammond. They're saying that's why Mr. Edgeworth shot him.
And Edgeworth never talks about his past. I bet they'll drag that out and hit him with it in court tomorrow, too. Poor Edgeworth.
I gotta admit, it doesn't look good, pal.
Say, Detective Gumshoe, do you know Gordy?
The monster down in Gourd Lake? Not personally, no.
Well, we're looking for him.
Huh? Are you out of your minds?
Eek.
You got time to go muzzering? How about doing a little questioning for me then?
Oh, Detective Gumshoe is scaring me, Nick. I told Detective Gumshoe about the deal with Lada. Nick, try telling him sooner next time. Sorry.
I see, pal. Sorry for shouting at you. Okay. I, Detective Gumshoe, will aid your search for Gordy.
Huh?
I'll loan you one of our newest secret weapons for finding evidence.
Really?
You can take whichever one you like.
What are these secret weapons? Okay, give us the goods.
Hold on now. Everything in due time. First, let me show them to you. These are our best and brightest. Introducing secret weapon number 1, Missile.
Missile?
He's a canine police dog, still in training. Missile, here boy.
Aw, he's so cute. That's right, Missile. Aw, he's so cute.
Here he is.
Hey, he's cute. Look, Nick, cute dog. A cute dog. And this will help us. How? Hold on, I'm taking a screenshot of that. I might make that into some sort of emote at some point. Okay.
Next, secret weapon number 2, a fishing pole. Here, this is my own personal pole.
Detective Gumshoe, we're looking for a monster.
Yeah,
How are we supposed to catch a whole sea monster with a fishing pole?
never know till you try, pal. Okay, this next one is the last one.
No, please, I'm already overwhelmed by our choices.
Secret weapon number 3, a metal detector. Here.
Detective Gumshoe, we're looking for something alive.
Right.
How are we supposed to find that with a metal detector?
Hey, you never know. It might have been eating soda cans. Well, which will it be?
I can't make up my mind, Nick. They all seem so perfect. Yeah, we're taking the dog. The dog. Yeah, we'll take Missile. I can't make up my mind either, for the totally opposite reason. Oh well, I guess suppose it can't hurt to borrow one of them. We're borrowing Missile. Can we borrow Missile?
Sure thing, pal. Be good to him.
Woof. He's so cute. Oh boy. Alright, let's go see if Missile has consent anything. Like, if he helps us at all. I actually think I remember what the problem is here. So, remember how they said there was a loud bang and then Gordy showed up? I have a feeling it has something to do with Larry and his exploding compressor. Hey, Nick. Hmm? Missel's been acting strangely. Missile? Oh, right. That little creature of yours. Hey, I love little doggies. Good boy, good boy. Whoa, that's... Missile does not like that. What's wrong, Missile? Eek! Missile! Missile! Munch. Whoa! Stop that thing! Cannibal! It's eating my samurai dog!
My samurai dogs.
Wow, he ate every single one. I'm sorry, Larry. Sorry, don't pay my bills, Nick. It's going to have to this time. Hey, Larry, look, it's Missile. Isn't he cute? Keep that mud away from me.
What am I gonna tell the big boss?
There's a big boss in charge of your hot dog stand? Nick, maybe the stand is a front for the mafia money laundering scheme. Maya, I think you should probably try to look a little sorry about what happened. Oh, right.
My poor dogs.
Hey, y'all. Well, y'all find anything out about Gordy? No, nothing. Well, keep moving. If it gets cold out here, it gets cold out here at nighttime. It is a little chilly. I think I have to sneeze. Wow, no you don't. No sneezing. Watch you. I told y'all no sneezing. See, I set the camera to respond to things a little softer than a bang. I trigger on one of them. Von Karma finger snaps now. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, sorry's nice, but what about my film? Nick, hey the lady.
Poor
Nick. Poor Nick, he seems to be having a lot of money issues recently. I learned something in today's trial, that's for sure. Testifying is serious business. That's why I decided not to talk about that case anymore. Huh? Whoa, didn't you say you had information about the case? Tell us that at least. Like I said, I'll trade it for the dirt on Gordy. Yeah, trademark. You know, and he's a prosecutor, so you know he would definitely come after you with legal, sue you for legal fees. What are you going to do if Gordy doesn't exist? I'll quit being an investigative photographer. What? After all, I only have one photo to my name so far. Was it a good one? You bet. A UFO. UFO? Anyway, if I can't get a career making photos this time around, then that's it. I'll quit and go back to school. Huh? So you really are a university student? Yeah, well, I'm taking a break for a bit. Right. Still nothing here. Okay, so I think I don't know if Missile was supposed to do anything else there. Let me go ahead and look at the wiki a minute, okay? Investigation. How much longer do we have? We still got about another 13 minutes or so. Alright. So... Okay, sounds like there's still there's funny stuff with the, yeah, um, there's funny stuff also with the fishing rod. Like it replaces the Maya sneeze joke with something else, something about baiting the hook with missile, and you can show it to them uh, for a couple of other goofs. But it seems like what we have to grab is the metal detector, so we'll grab the metal detector from Gumshoe.
Yeah, sure, pal. But I have to take back the last one I lent you. Department policy. Well, take your pick. Which will it be?
Could we borrow that metal detector?
Sure thing, pal.
I'm not sure what we're going to find with this.
Remember, you're hunting for a monster. Anything is possible. Anything.
But yeah, those faces of missile could make for some good emotes. We haven't had a chance to add any new like personalized emotes lately. Maybe I should, and nobody's really been using them. Maybe I should cut down on and just leave the really good ones from Mr. Dungeon, and then add in those missile ones for now. See if people use those. Anyway. Okay. So okay, so we have to go to the boat rental shop. Okay. Nick! It's beeping! The metal detector's found something! Sure is loud enough about it. Whatever it is, it must be in those bushes. Go check it out, Maya. Why do I have to check it out? Nick! Look! Huh? An air tank? Huh. The valve looks broken. I thought it was Gordy. Maya, first of all, why would Gordy be in the bushes? And second of all, why would a metal detector react to a sea monster? Oh. Huh? There's something wrapped around this air tank. It looks like a string of flags. Well, we might as well take it with us now that we found it. It's heavy. This is obviously Larry's. Larry, we found your other air tank.
What? An air tank? What about it?
Larry, I wanted to ask you about this tank. Is it yours? Say, is this air tank yours?
Why would I have a thing like... Why would I have a thing like that?
Look, see how there's a string of flags around the tank valve? It's just like the string of flags around your Steel Samurai there.
Must be a coincidence. There's strings of flags everywhere these days. Like elementary schools. And used cars dealerships. Look, why would I need an air tank anyway?
To inflate something, obviously. Use this to inflate that, didn't you? This whole little mini, like, presenting of evidence basically gets turned into Cyclops as a mechanic in later games. This was the first game, so they didn't really have that. But in later games, they kind of made the investigation a bit more interesting by having, like, mini, like, presenting evidence and, like, thinking through things sections that were the Cyclops. So.
Inflate what?
What else? That big puffy Steel Samurai.
Now, why would you go asking me a question like that?
Looks like I hit the nail on the head.
Right. Actually, see, the compressor I always used was on the fritz. So, I tried using the tank to inflate it, just once, and, it didn't go so well.
As I suspected. It didn't go so well?
Yeah.
Do you think you could be a bit more specific?
Come on! Look, it's embarrassing, so I really don't want to have to talk about it.
Tell us! Tell us!
Fine. Whatever. It's like what I said. The compressor was busted. So, I took the tank and tried to fill the Samurai up with that. And then... blam!
The valve busted open and made this incredible noise. And that tank there took off like a rocket. And it took my poor deflated steel samurai with it. What? Off into Gourd Lake? It sure scared me out of my gourd, that's for sure. So the tank and the steel samurai you were trying to fill up flew away. What happened next? Well, all that happened on the 20th or so. The 20th? A week ago. Now, as far as I could see, the tank went flying out into the lake. So I went out every night in a boat looking for it. I mean, Kyanzi gave me that steel samurai after all. And when did you find it? Just the night before last. It flew way out there. Took me 4 whole days to find it. The night before last? That was the night of the murder. Sorry for not telling you, Nick. Actually, I was here on the night of the murder. But, you see, I went home before midnight. So, you didn't know about what happened? No. That's too bad. It's not all bad. We've solved one mystery at least. A mystery? Maybe we should go tell her. Alright, I think we're gonna go find out what Lotta Hart saw or has to say, and then we'll probably wrap up after that. Well, Mr. Lord, I've got the info y'all need. Y'all got the scoop on Gordy for me yet? Gordy doesn't exist. Lotta, there is no such thing as Gordy. What? How can y'all be so sure? Really, Nick? Y'all got some proof Gordy don't exist? Proof that Gordy doesn't exist is here. Of course I have proof. No lawyer aware with his bad would make a claim without the proof to back it up. Here's the proof that Gordy doesn't exist. Larry's air tank? What are y'all doing with an air tank? This is Gordy. Excuse me? What exactly are you saying, Nick? There's a stand near here. A hot dog stand. There's a giant inflatable samurai doll there. About a week ago, an idiot, who happens to be a friend of mine, tried to fill it. He used this air tank, and when the valve blew, the tank flew into the lake. Apparently, he made a pretty loud bang when it flew. A bang? The tank, along with the still deflated samurai, fell into the lake. At the same time, a couple was taking a photograph of the lake. This photo. Wait, so you're saying that Gordy is really the steel samurai? Well, that's a fine way to ruin a gal's dreams. I'm sorry, Lotta. Nah, it's okay. You win. I'll give you your info, like I promised. Poor Lotta. So, tell us this information you have. A promise is a promise, I guess. I overheard the cops around here saying something about the witness tomorrow. They said he's the caretaker of the boat rental place up the path here. Boat rental? There's someone there? I mean, it looks so deserted. Just an old guy, living all by himself. Y'all should go check it out. Thanks, Lotta. We will. Let's get cracking, Nick. Hold on. Something else? Yeah, the night of the murder. My camera clicked twice, you know. That's... Hey! Finally getting back to that second photo. Right, Jim? Okay. Wait, so you have another photo? Well... Yeah, but there's nothing in it at all. Just a lake. I figured it wouldn't be much use as evidence, so I kept it to myself. Well, it might not be helpful at all, but... Here, take it. Second lake photo added to the court record. Bye now. Y'all take care. Time for me to pack up and leave. Poor Lotta. It's all Larry's fault. The legend still lives on, I guess. Oh, see you soon, Coil. The legend? Yeah, the legend of Larry, familiar to all who know him for any length of time. When something smells, it's usually the butts. Someone should whip that butts into shape. Alright, let's see what this picture is, and then I guess we're gonna get out of here. Second lake photo. Oh, we still can't see it? Shows an empty lake. Okay. Well, maybe it's just to establish at 11:50 there was nobody out on the lake. Alright, so thanks so much for watching, Chime and Coil, and anybody else watching on the um, playback. I hope you guys have a good evening, afternoon, whatever. I should have it set up so it actually automatically hosts Coil stream now too. You know, the auto host thing. Anyway, so I hope you have a good one, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow, where we will finish Turnabout Goodbye, and hopefully, if I set it up right, if I got the DLC working, we might be able to start on the last episode of Phoenix Wright. If not, then I'll have to, yeah. But, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and I will see you tomorrow, I hope. Yeah, see you later, Chime.